And the Chiefs still managed to clinch their 8th consecutive division championship with a come-from-behind 25-17 win over the Bengals, securing the number 3 seed for the playoffs. But they didn't erase some of the doubts that surround this team. So, RC, do you believe the Chiefs have a Super Bowl run in them?
Nope, I don't. When you look at this team from a defensive standpoint, this is a team that could be in any football game with the way that Steve Spagnuolo and that unit are operating. I just don't think they have it offensively. Let's look again last night. MVS on a short crosser has an opportunity to catch a football, which would be a catch and run for a touchdown. It's dropped. We also get Patrick Mahomes in a backup situation. What they always say, watch the hard count, deep shot. MVS gets a deep shot, and Patrick Mahomes misses him. And he misses him bad, which isn't something that you're used to seeing. We don't get an attempt to Travis Kelce until late in the second quarter. I still think that this team hasn't found enough offensively to compete with the Baltimore Ravens, to compete with the Cleveland Browns, who are going to play defense at a high level. And to me, even a team like the Buffalo Bills has an ability to be much more explosive than the Patrick Mahomes-led Kansas City Chiefs can be. Is this a team you want to play? Hell no, right? Because they got the best player in the world at the quarterback position. But even he, in this moment, is not playing at an elite level. Patrick Mahomes doesn't look comfortable playing behind those offensive tackles. And what you're telling me is when they play the Baltimore Ravens, when they play the Cleveland Browns, you're going to go out and block Justin Madubuike. You're going to go out and block Myles Garrett. If Kyle Hamilton is healthy, you're going to find a way to protect him when those blitz packages of Mike McDonald are coming at Patrick Mahomes. Do I believe that this is the team that gets its doors blown off against anybody? No, because I believe that defense can keep them in the game. I believe they have a quarterback who will always scare you. But offensively, I just don't feel like they have the pieces to compete with the elite of this conference.
I think they could go on a Super Bowl run if they play the way that they did yesterday. You know,
what about yesterday? Because you keep saying that. Yeah. What about yesterday makes you think that, Dan?
Well, yesterday was the first game, and I feel maybe 2 months that they didn't beat themselves. Okay. Like they just didn't. You didn't see these egregious penalties. You didn't see the egregious drops. There were some close misses. That one to MVS you're talking, the Justin Watson one on the deep crosser. I think Travis had a drop. But
on his fingertips.
Right. So I think the things that I liked about their offense is Pacheco, they didn't hurt themselves with some of the run game stuff. Remember, we did that tape on NFL Live this past week of Travis said, you know, every guy's taking a turn, kind of blowing their assignment. That didn't show up yesterday. It was almost like every guy took an opportunity to go make a player something.
You're right.
So I liked that. Rashee Rice, for a couple weeks, we said, like, hey, that's got to be the focal point of the pass game. We saw him take another step forward. He's becoming a very dynamic and reliable wide receiver. So offensively, I sat and I said, if they were a little bit better on third down, this game's a blowout, and they win by 3 touchdowns. Now, they got to be better on third down. There's no question. But some of those third downs are so close. I think they had a drop in another situation. So I just sit here and I go, that was the first game that I watched finally. They go down 17-7. I'm like, ooh. And all I kept saying was, here come the Chiefs. Here come the Chiefs. And it felt like a little bit, I don't want to say vintage Patrick Mahomes offense because there wasn't the explosive plays. But it did feel methodical like last year. To your point, I think the defense keeps them in every game. If they can build off yesterday, I think that they're talented enough. That's what I've kept saying, Cassidy, is like, there's some teams where I sit there and go, listen, you're not good enough. You're not. They're talented enough individually. And I think if they get out of their own way, finally for the first time like they did yesterday, they can go on a run. I believe that.
I just wonder if, like, drop passes have something to do with talent, or is it kind of like the yips or some sort with this team? Like, when it comes to, like, the receivers, are they the reason this team won't make it to the Super Bowl solely?
I still think if they don't make it, it'll be because of the tackles.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah. I don't – I've never seen a team – you've been around the NFL for 30 years probably. I've been around – I've never seen a team not make it because of drops. At some point, drops are almost like – these guys are pros. Now, it necessarily hasn't cured itself in Kansas City, which, again, is shocking. But I still think it's the tackles. We have seen teams be very good, but offensive line and not win it.
And I think when you look at their tackles, it's affected their quarterback so much. The drops, to me, have affected Patrick Mahomes less than the pressure.
I agree.
Right? The pressure has now gotten to a point, especially you look at yesterday, once Trey Hendrickson is able to get that strip sack, now we're seeing Patrick start to move around.
Run around a little
Think
bit.
about late in the game, 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
Patrick runs the football. He tries to stick it over the first down mark. He doesn't throw the football. You have the 4th and 1. It seems like he has a guy to the flat, but he's gotten in his mind now, use my legs, create. He gets the 4th and 1 with his legs. And so I feel like Patrick Mahomes has lost a little bit of faith in his protection, which used to be part of his superpower, is that I will wait and I will hold it and I will make a play because I know they'll give me an extra second. He doesn't have that anymore.
And you talked about with the Eagles, it's hard to be consistently good. So do you feel like the mindset between these two teams mirror each other? Or is it?
I think the mindsets are different. I think one team has been good way longer.
Right.
With a certain group of people. We've seen the Kansas. I think that Patrick Mahomes, I don't think Jalen Hurts thinks differently, but I think that Patrick Mahomes and that entire building believe, you know what? This could change in a week. And in a week, we could be something different.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think they feel like we've done it so long, it's just this, it's just that, and we can get it. I think the Philadelphia Eagles thing is so much different because there's so much change, whether it be to the roster, to the coaching staff, or even their position and the way the games are falling. It's a lot more to question.
And one team has a great unit still. Like Kansas City's unit
you're right about
is
that.
still a great unit.
Yeah.
Philadelphia doesn't. Either side doesn't have a great unit. It's really interesting to pay attention to Kansas City because, to RC's point, Patrick all year has said, we just got to get it, we just got to keep getting better. We just got to keep getting better. We just got to keep getting better. We'll get it fixed. I'm going to keep trusting those guys. And it hasn't. And you've seen moments where he doesn't trust them, and then you're starting to see moments where he does, at least the Rashee Rice. I think their tight ends can be viable pieces. And then Travis last week and the week before was like, we just got to stop beating ourselves. Every guy kind of rotates. And so when, at least in my experience, when players say that, they say it because they believe it. Like, they say it because they sit there and they watch the tape and they know that they're capable of more and that they're close. And it's all self-inflicted stuff.
Right.
And champions control that. Like, champions can rectify and fix that. That's why I sit here and I think, I'm not going to be shocked if they get hot for a month and play clean football.
Right.
I won't be.
I mean, experience usually matters. And with, Patrick Mahomes, everything has always looked so easy for him.
Yeah, it's his
He's always
first
made
time.
things look so easy. This time it's a little more challenging, including they will play in their first true road playoff game under Mahomes. So, we'll see if it all works out. Like, now is the time for things to be working out.
Yeah, if they win at home.
They have a road game after.
And that team likely coming to Arrowhead is going to be, maybe an Indy or maybe a Houston or Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh wins this weekend with a little help, they should win at home, and then they'll go on the road somewhere.
After the Rams, Kyron Williams scored his 3rd touchdown in the afternoon. He gifted the ball to his mother, but some unidentified Giants fan did not understand what was going on and wrestled with her for the ball.
Bro, who raised you?
I know.
Right?
Like, she was not having it, though. How about that, Dan? How about that ball protection?
First of all, shout out to his mom. Second of all, where's the adult men around?
Is she hugging that dude next to her? Because, somebody got to stop the guy from trying to take the football from a lady.
And but the force, she was like,
You wonder why her
It's a reason Kyron a dog.
You wonder why her son leads the NFL in rushing yards per game.
And you could see him, he was yelling. So my thought is that he heard Kyron, and that's where he finally let go. But look, that is.
Why would that guy think to himself, Kyron Williams is giving me in my Saquon Barkley jersey the football?
Right, exactly.
He's going out of his way to jump into the stands for me.
Shout out moms, though. Shout out moms.
Shout out moms. That's how my wife is. When we play with sports with our kids or whatnot and her friends, she goes into ultra psycho competitive mode, and I'm always like, yo, you gotta chill. Looks like it.
You know who you married. That's exactly
Real talk.
You
know who you married, bro.
Yeah.
So are you the quiet one at the game, and your wife is like the?
I'm the person that's the only moment in my life when I'm not competitive.
Right.
Like sometimes when I'm just with the boys, I'll bust their heads. But when we're all playing together, I'm like, yo, babe, you gotta chill. And she's just sweating. I'm like.